So I want to get it going for YouTube, so we can get this, get our YouTube page full of content. So once again, this is C. Michael Stanley. A lot of you know me as Courtney Stanley. Let me discuss that real quick. C. Michael Stanley, I came up with that because of my second oldest daughter. She's named after me. We used to call her Baby Courtney, and she's an adult now, and so she doesn't like Baby Courtney. She just likes Courtney. So to kind of eliminate some confusion with our names, I have changed my social media to C. Michael Stanley instead of Courtney Stanley, because she's Courtney Stanley as well. So that's it. A lot of people know my last name is Stanley. You know, a lot of people know me as Overseer Stanley or Mr. Stanley, knowing me in the professional realm. And yeah, that's Mr. Stanley. In the church realm, it's Overseer Stanley. Again, but my first name is Courtney. My first name still is Courtney, but I changed it to C. Michael. Michael is my middle name. To get rid of any confusion with my second oldest daughter, because she's an adult now. She doesn't like to be called Baby Courtney, but most of the family still call her Baby Courtney. All right. Again, welcome to Kingdom Sports. Like, comment, and share. Let's get into these NBA playoffs. Oh, man. Definitely chime in. I was trying to get a couple people that joined the broadcast with me on today. I wasn't able to get any solid commitments. So next time I come on, probably the next week or two, I definitely want to have a guest panelist, if you will, that'll join me on Kingdom Sports. All right. So tonight, Bucks versus Nets. The Bucks are the team that I've rooted for the past few years. I like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he's an awesome player. I think he has developed his game. He's still very young, so he definitely has some more development to go. You know, a lot of people talk about him when he begins to shoot the ball instead of attacking the basket. Sometimes he has to play the way the defense is allowing him to play, but then sometimes as an offensive player, especially an offensive player of his talent and his stature, I believe it's important for him to pretty much put his will on the game. Sometimes you can't take what the defense is giving you. Sometimes you got to say, hey, I'm going to play my game. I'm going to play my game. And his jump shot is a whole lot better than it was when he first started out. So I applaud him for going to the gym and working on that jump shot. But it's still not a respectable jump shot, so to speak. Come down to the NBA playoffs. They're going to go by your statistics, your history. And historically, in the NBA playoffs, his jump shot is more like Brick City than on net. So if I'm an opposing defender, I'm definitely going to have him shoot all day instead of having him come and dunk on my head. But at the same time, I think it's important for Giannis to impose his will on the game. When it comes down to taking those shots, he has a very good secondary option in Chris Middleton. I think he's an awesome ball player. Not at the superstar level like Giannis, but at the same time, he's hit some big shots. Even this year in the playoffs against the Miami Heat, I think one of their first games, he was able to hit the game-winning shot. The last game, Chris Middleton hit a lot of big buckets as well. You got Drew Holiday on that team, big pickup for them, underrated pickup, as well as P.J. Tucker, very underrated pickup. So my heart, I'm going for the Bucks. I'm rooting for the Bucks on tonight. But in my mind, in the way I know how the NBA works, I believe this is just a Nets year. I honestly believe the Nets are going to beat the Bucks, even though I'm rooting for the Bucks. Then I believe the Nets will beat the winner out of Game 7 tomorrow out of the Hawks and the 76ers. And then I believe the Nets is going to win the championship. I think it's just their year. You have Kevin Durant, been in the NBA Finals several times. I believe he's 1-2 with the Warriors, lost on with the Warriors, and he lost on with OKC. So he's been in the Finals 4 times. He has that experience there. Kyrie Irving has been in the Finals, I think, about 3 times. And he won one with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So you got some championship pedigree on that team. And then James Harden, we know he's a bona fide ball player. We know he's been the league MVP. We know he's been making an engine run. I believe he's hungry for a championship. And a lot of times, if you're hungry for a championship, you have to get with guys that have won it. And a lot of times, get with some teammates that have won it, get with some coaches that have won it, and sometimes they know the championship formula. They know the championship success. So I believe it's the next year. It's just how it's shaping up. And I would say, and I would put a disclaimer on that, injuries. If 2 out of the 3 of those guys are close to 100%, I believe the championship is theirs. But you only have 1 of those 3 that's close to 100%, I think that's where it gets a little shaky for them. But I believe, the guys are going to recover. I believe this is their year. I really do. But again, I'm rooting for the Bucks on tonight. I'm going to be glued in. I anticipate it being the best game of the series. All the games haven't been good games, but everybody predicted this series to go 6 or 7, as I did as well. So we're at Game 7 on tonight. I believe it's going to be a very good game. They had some great regular season games. Some of their regular season games have been better than their playoff games. So I'm hoping for a great game on tonight in Game 7 that is going to be reminiscent of the 2 regular season games they had this year, where we see Giannis and KD kind of go at it, mano y mano, like they got, in street ball. We got to go at it, mano y mano. Who's going to will their team to the win? And that's what it's about. A lot of times in the NBA playoffs, for the most part, the best player on the best team is going to will his team to a win. We've seen that happen many times. Back in the day with Michael Jordan, he willed his team to the win. LeBron James has done it. We see those top players that really take it up a notch. And sometimes those teams that have won championships, they haven't necessarily had the best overall team, but you had that superstar player that said, we're about to get this championship. Again, like I said, they got the championship pedigree down with the Nets now, with KD, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. Say, I want to go there. He wants to win a championship. He's won MVPs. He's won scoring titles. So we have a young man. James Harden is not that young anymore, but he's been in the league for a little while. But he's done all the individual things. So I believe this is a year for the Nets. Again, I'm rooting for the Bucks, but I believe the Nets is going to take the whole thing. That'll be my ultimate prediction. Now, on to Game 7 on tomorrow, 76ers and the Hawks. I believe most NBA fans, if you know like I know, you definitely were not predicting the Hawks to take the 76ers to 7 games. Honestly, coming in, I thought it was going to be a sweet 5 games at the most. That was my pre-series prediction for that particular series. The Hawks played well against the Knicks. Trae Young, it seemed like he's playing with no fear, and he's brought that same energy into this series with the Sixers. But at the same time, for me, just watching the game, the 2 games that the Hawks just won, I believe it was game 4 and 5, the 76ers were up. And the Hawks came back and beat them to sleep, basically. We know Joel Embiid. That's one of my favorite players. I've always been a big man fan. Joel Embiid is one of my favorite players in the league at this moment in time. He's been on a torn meniscus. So he's giving it his all in the first half or whatnot. But then when he gets to the second half, you see him kind of laboring. And you hope that his injury doesn't get worse. You applaud him for pushing past it. But when he goes off on the first half, you expect his teammates to kind of pick up that slack in the second half. But it seems like they're having a hard time doing it. Ben Simmons and him have been together for a little while. We know Ben Simmons is a great player. He brings a lot of things to the table. But in situations like this, I've seen Ben Simmons completely disappear. I don't know, guys, if you could comment on that, how you feel about Ben Simmons. But honestly, I watched the last game, and I was like, man, Ben Simmons might as well not even be on the court. He did absolutely nothing in crunch time. Absolutely nothing. Great defender. Great defender. Hands down one of the best defenders in the league. But on the other end, they pretty much can play 5-on-4. Because he's refusing to shoot the ball. Again, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he came in without a jump shot. He's worked on that. It's not the best in the world, but it's better. Ben Simmons came in with no jump shot, and it seemed like not only is he refusing to shoot the ball, but it's almost like he has not worked on that jump shot. You got all those tools, you got all those talents. You have to add to your basketball skills. You have to add to those skills. Kobe Bryant always practiced the basic skills. That's what made him one of the best. He didn't practice all the fancy stuff. He practiced the basic skills day in and day out. And it made him one of the best players to ever touch the NBA court. Ben Simmons, work on that jump shot. When you're out there, you got Ben Simmons you have to worry about on offense. Second half, Joel Embiid is not getting the lift that he needs. It's been easier for the Hawks to come and do what they've done. At least two of the 3 games they've won. 76ers are up big. Hawks come back because Ben Simmons is not doing a thing. But with that being said, I believe the Sixers is going to win Game 7. I believe the Sixers is going to win Game 7. I know I just criticized Ben Simmons, but I believe he's going to have a decent game. Now, I'm not going to say a big game, but he's going to have a decent game. I think he's going to get over some fear. I think he might hit a couple jumpers. I think he's going to hit 1 or 2 jumpers for us on tomorrow, and I believe they're going to go ahead and go into the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the Nets. So those are my predictions. Rooting for the Bucks once again. I'll be rooting for the Bucks all night. I'd be happy if they win, but I believe the Nets is going to win it, and then I believe the 76ers are going to go ahead and take care of the Hawks. Trae Young, he's blossomed into a superstar right before our eyes. No fear, he's playing lights out. But tonight, I don't think he's going to be able to carry that team over the hump to beat Philly. That Philly crowd is going to be bananas. You can count on that. That Philly crowd is going to be bananas. I know last year we didn't have the home court advantage. Sorry about that, because of the pandemic. But now that arena is going to be rocking. I believe the 76ers are going to take it home. Then we're going to have the 76ers and the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I believe the Nets, honestly, I would like it to go 6 or 7, but I believe the Nets are going to take out the Sixers in 4 to 5 games. So the next time we come back on the Kingdom Sports, we'll definitely review that prediction. But I believe the Nets are going to take out the Sixers in about 4 or 5 games. So we'll see that. We'll see tonight, tomorrow, see how these Game 7s go. All right, on to the Western Conference Finals. Who would have thought, coming into the season, the Western Conference Finals would be the Suns versus the Clippers? Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it, they say? The Suns versus the Clippers. The Clippers have never, ever, 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 ever been to the Western Conference Finals. They've lost hands down their best player in Kawhi Leonard. Again, another one of my favorite players in this league. I hope he can come back and make this a series. They had a young man, last name Man, that went off last night. He got almost 40 points, I believe, the stat line with 39 points. The Jazz were up big on them, and he brutalized them. He let them have it. He let them know, hey, I'm here. I don't anticipate him duplicating that against the Suns. That's my opinion. Maybe the young man will. Maybe he may use my broadcast as bulletin board material. But, man, I don't see you dropping more than 15 on the Suns in any game, on any night. No more than 15 in this Western Conference Finals. I believe the Suns are well coached. I believe, I know CP3 is out due to COVID protocol, but he'll be back soon enough. Devin Booker has been one of the most underrated offensive assassins we've seen in the last 5 years. He's shown some things in these playoffs. You got a young big man in DeAndre Ayton that can put the ball in the bucket when need be, a defensive stopper. I believe they take these Clippers out. The only way I see the Clippers winning if Kawhi Leonard can make it back, I would say by Game 3. If Kawhi Leonard can make it back by Game 3, the Clippers, they should be their series. But if we have no Kawhi Leonard, we're going to have the Phoenix Suns in the finals for the first time since 1993. Somebody comment, let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe 1993, we had the Suns in the finals against the Bulls when Charles Barkley was with the Suns. So this will be their first finals trip in almost, 30 years? 30 years? 28 years? Yeah, it'll be 28 years. First finals trip in 28 years. So that should be interesting for the Suns. But again, my overall prediction is going to be the Nets taking this thing all the way out. The Nets taking this thing all the way out, winning the championship. I just believe it's their year. And then I believe that's going to set us up for an interesting offseason and going into next season. It'll probably be the Nets and the Lakers. Will be everybody's picks coming in. So it's going to be interesting. Speaking of the Lakers, I think the Lakers definitely need to make a few moves. Definitely need to get some shooters there. And AD, we definitely need to get him healthy. LeBron is aging, so we need AD to kind of pick up more slack. We can't count on LeBron to be the same LeBron he's been for the past 15 years. AD is going to have to step up to the table, kind of be the A instead of the B. He needs to be the A instead of the B. I think LeBron running him there so he can kind of make that transition. And everybody can make that transition. It can be tough for some people. So I don't know. Just looking at his injury history, it's going to be kind of tough for him to hold up to it. But we'll see. I think it'll make for a fun NBA come next year. So we'll see what happens in the offseason concerning them. But again, going over my picks, rooting for the Bucks on tonight, but I believe the Nets will take them out and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Tomorrow, I believe the 76ers will take care of the Hawks, and we'll go 76ers against the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe the Nets is going to make short work of them. Nets in probably 4 or 5 games. And then with the Western Conference Finals, I believe the Suns are going to beat the Clippers, barring Kawhi Leonard able to come back. Kawhi Leonard able to come back, that changes everything. I will pick the Clippers to take that and possibly even take the championship from the Knicks. But no Kawhi Leonard, Suns going to the finals, Nets beat the Suns in 5 or 6 games. So we'll come back in about a week or two to check out our predictions, see how everything is going. So the NBA playoffs have been exciting. Injuries have definitely. Let's talk about this before we go into the virtual man cave. Injuries definitely have been a big factor in the NBA playoffs. A lot of the best players have been hurt. But one thing I realized, in all sports, injuries are a part of the game. Injuries are a part of the game. You know, you have some years when people win championships, and you say, "Oh, they won if such and such one they got hurt." Oh, this wouldn't happen if such and such would have did this. If such and such would have got hurt, they wouldn't have won it. Injuries are a part of the game. It's a part of the game, and sometimes it just gets to a point where it was going to happen, and the person that won that year, don't take anything from that person. Don't take anything from that team. They're the champion. I remember a few years ago when the Raptors beat the Warriors. A lot of people said they wouldn't have won if KD and Klay Thompson wouldn't have got hurt. You don't want to take anything away from a champion. Yes, it was unfortunate. You had 2 of the best players on the Warriors get hurt, but at the same time, the Warriors were an unprecedented, talented team. You had 4 future Hall of Famers on one team. So you lose 2, you still got 2 over there. And then you're going against a Raptors team that probably had about 2. For me, that evened the scales for me. And so the Raptors won their championship. That's their championship. Don't take anything away from the Raptors. So I know injuries have taken some of the best players out of the games. It hasn't been what we anticipated for the year. Hasn't been what we desired. But again, it's a part of the game. It happens in all sports. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey. You know, injuries happen in all sports. Some guys are out for a whole year. And we come back next year to see what's going to happen. So injuries is part of the sports. You prepare for that. And, you know, it is what it is. I know people have talked about the season being cut short, being jam-packed together. That may have caused the injuries. But when you look at the reports, the injury percentage is about the same this year as it's been in previous years. It's just a little more heightened because you have a lot of star players that have got injured. But I know it's important for players to take care of their bodies in the offseason. Those that have taken care of their bodies in the offseason, they're less prone to getting hurt. They're less prone to getting hurt. And not saying all the guys that got hurt didn't take care of their bodies. But just knowing athletes, knowing sports, watching sports, guys that really spend time and money in their bodies, when they're out of season, they tend to hold up a little stronger than others. You have some guys that are party and lose their diet during the off season, come back to training camp overweight, so they're fighting during training camp to get back in shape. You know, a superior athlete, championship caliber athletes, they want to stay in shape year in and year out. Okay, that's our time with the sports. I'm going to go into our virtual man cave. I'm going to change up the graphics a little bit. All right. Now, definitely I need some comments on this. Juneteenth, we're celebrating the day. I've been seeing some awesome posts on Facebook. I was out to eat this morning, and I saw some Juneteenth t-shirts, and I'm definitely excited to see that. So I got a lot of parades, a lot of celebrations. I might go run over to somewhere after I get done with this broadcast. I see they got some good food out there. But we know Juneteenth is the commemoration of when the slaves in Texas, it's like Texas was the last people to know. It was 2 years after the slaves had been freed. So these were the last group of slaves that were granted their freedom over in the state of Texas. So Juneteenth, June 19th, we commemorate that. Joe Biden signed this into federal law this past week. So this is the newest federal holiday we've had in quite some time. I think in about over 30 years. So it's definitely something that's big, but it's something that's new. And I'm just being honest. Like I went out to eat earlier today, and it wasn't because it was Juneteenth. You know, I was out with one of our church families, and we were out with their son's game, and we decided to go to eat after the game. It had nothing to do with Juneteenth. You know, I haven't done anything. I haven't sparked the grill for Juneteenth. You know, I haven't done that. So what is it that we're gonna do? How do we celebrate Juneteenth? Do we celebrate the same way we celebrate, you know, July 4th? You know, July 4th, I definitely get that grill going. You know, we know it's July 4th. We popping firecrackers. You know, we've got a routine set for July 4th for Independence Day. It's it commemorates the time that our country, the United States of America, gained their independence from Britain. So it is something that, you know, we know it's been around for a long time. It's something that we celebrated. We have tradition in it already in July 4th. But what's our tradition for Juneteenth? It's almost like this, just from my viewpoint. I definitely need some comments here. So you guys share this. Juneteenth versus July 4th. You guys share this right now. But just from my observation so far, it's almost like it's I hate to say it, but I'm going to be real about it, a black holiday. I don't see us really incorporating our Caucasian American citizens, our Hispanic American citizens, our Asian American citizens. I don't see us incorporating any of those other races into the Juneteenth celebrations. So it's hard for me to go into a store and expect that store to have Juneteenth themed displays of barbecue food and things of that nature if it's not a multicultural event. So for me right now, some people might get upset with me, but for me right now, it's looking like just a time for black folk to have a good time. And we don't need a reason to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? But I don't see it having that same impact as a July 4th. You know, we all celebrate July 4th. Usually we got a day off from work. We barbecuing, we popping fireworks. We're doing the whole nine. But where does Juneteenth go from here? Are we expecting our companies to give us a day off for Juneteenth next year and the following years? Are we expecting to do some type of firework display for Juneteenth like we do for July 4th? Are we expecting to do big cookouts on Juneteenth like we do July 4th? So what I'm seeing in my local community, I see a lot of the cities celebrating. They're doing like an event where the community is coming out together, you know, celebrating the black culture, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm probably gonna go to one of the events when I get done with the broadcast. If my family feels like going, I want to get some good food from out there. You know what I mean? I like to eat. But where do we go from here? Is that what it's going to be all about? Is that we're just going to have programs on Juneteenth celebrating the culture? Are we going to do things? Are we going to make it a point to educate our other American citizens that are not African American about this particular day, the importance of it? Do we even care about it? Let's be real with ourselves. Do we really even care about it? Is it something that in your heart of hearts that you really were excited when Joe Biden signed the bill to be a federal holiday? Was it something that you felt like you had been fighting for? Was it something that you felt like you protested about? Was it something that you felt like needed to be done? Because honestly, I haven't heard Juneteenth come up, I would say, no more than 5-6 years ago. I go back 10 years of my life, 20 years of my life, never heard anybody talking about Juneteenth. I knew what it was, but I never heard anybody talking about it. Then the only reason I knew about it in my adult life is because of my wife's business. People are having celebrations for it, they needed vendors. My wife would go out and vend at these different events, and that's when I found out more about Juneteenth. But other than that, I wasn't hearing a big stir of it. And then I know we had some recent injustices that we've experienced in our country, dealing with race relations and things of that nature. So we've seen a big push for Juneteenth. But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? What's next? What's next? Do we get the big celebration like we get for July 4th? Do we get the day off from school, the day off from work? like we do July 4th? Are the banks going to be closed? Is the mailman not going to deliver my mail on Juneteenth? What happens next? I'm interested to see it. Again, just being honest, I didn't do anything to celebrate Juneteenth on the day. I know one of my coworkers, they were saying they were having a big cookout for Juneteenth. I had no cookout. You know, in my county, I think most of the cities in my county of residents they're all doing Juneteenth celebrations. I might go to one. I might just stay in the house. But the game about to come on too. You know, been watching the game my whole life just about. Juneteenth is new for me. What do? What are you guys doing for Juneteenth? What is the plan? What are the future plans for Juneteenth? It's going to be a day at the beach. It's going to be a day of just celebrating the culture. It's going to be a day where we're talking about inclusion and showing love to people that don't look like us. It's going to be a day of gift giving. It's going to be a day of just good eating. It's going to be a day of just having fun. Going to a theme park. What are we gonna do for Juneteenth? What's gonna commemorate Juneteenth? Does it need to be separate from the rest? That we do something different, or do we need to do it just like we do 4th of July, Memorial Day? We crank up the grill. Martin Luther King Day, we'll probably crank up the grill on Martin Luther King Day. You know, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna treat it just like those holidays? What's the plan? Definitely want your insight. Like, comment, and share. Definitely want to get some dialogue going. Juneteenth versus July 4th. Black people, are we going to stop celebrating July 4th? Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Give me some comments. What y'all think? I see my lovely wife, Tawanda Stanley. She's my only comments today. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you, woman of God, the founder and CEO of Kingdom Speaks Network. We got to give a shout out to Kingdom Speaks Network. If it wasn't for Kingdom Speaks Network, we wouldn't have a Kingdom Sports. So I am broadcasting live on Kingdom Speaks Network. Founder and CEO is my lovely wife, Tawanda Stanley. Thank you so much for supporting me. Let's get some dialogue going. You go ahead and give me a comment. What you think? Should black folks stop celebrating July 4th because we got Juneteenth now? Should we celebrate both? And what are your thoughts on Juneteenth? What do we do for Juneteenth? Because we ain't done nothing today, babe. What you think? Let me know. Let's get some dialogue going. This is good. Let's get some dialogue going. I ain't done nothing today. Am I gonna start a tradition with my family next year? We ain't do nothing today. We do nothing. Hey, my wife said we're gonna get some food. Yeah. Y'all think about it. But what's gonna be do you want to stop celebrating July 4th? What's your thoughts on that? I like firecrackers, you know. I like fireworks. I like to see them, I like to pop them, you know. So, yeah, I see my wife. She says it's new, but we should do more to educate. Let's educate our sisters and brothers that don't look like us, our fellow American citizens. Pastor Otis, God bless you. God bless you, Pastor Otis. He said celebrate both. You know, that's what I'm feeling like that too, Pastor Otis. I celebrate both. You know, July 4th has been around for a while. They're celebrating the independence of our country as a whole. I believe it's important for us to celebrate that. And then again, Juneteenth was commemorating the last group of slaves that finally got free. I definitely agree, celebrate both. But how do we celebrate? Did we do Juneteenth just like July 4th? Do we do it the same way? What do we do? What are you doing? Okay. I see. My wife said she don't really celebrate 4th of July. So you eat some kind of barbecue. You eat some kind of barbecue. We want the kids to see some fireworks. Now you cut it out. It'll be some kind of celebration. Pastor Derek, how you doing, sir? We got a couple of my Voice of Men and Water brothers on here. It ain't just a church thing for us, you know. It's love. It's love. It's love. I appreciate you guys being on. Pastor Derek, what do you think? Do we kick out July 4th? Do we celebrate July 4th and Juneteenth? And what do we do to celebrate Juneteenth? We start popping some firecrackers, barbecuing. What we gonna do? Oh, my wife said she like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter. Y'all know she holy. And then she's a business owner, so those other holidays don't mean too much for her because she ain't got to worry about getting days off from work. Like for Labor Day, MLK Day, she break her own hours. So them days don't mean too much for her. But she said, let's celebrate both. She's saying Juneteenth, we can do something, maybe the events. I see Pastor Derek said, let's do both. Hey, Pastor Oda said, let's do a cookout for starters. We cook for everything else. Like I said, we cooking for MLK Day. We cook for Memorial Day. We cook for the 4th of July. Let's do summer cookouts. Memorial Day in May, Juneteenth in June, July 4th, and then we'll close it out in September, with Labor Day. Yeah, so with that, let's start doing some barbecue. Oh, wow, Pastor Derek, I didn't know that. See, I was asking about that. Pastor Derek said some businesses are closed today. Wow, I said the Nike store was closed. Wow, now that's big. Now that's big. I was talking about, are we going to get the mail? Are we going to be off from work? Now that's big. I did not know that at all. That's big. So for me, that makes me like the Nike company because that's them saying we're going to celebrate that culture and what they've gone through, and we're going to shut down shop and give everybody the day off. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's interesting. I wonder if more companies are going to start doing that. The company I work for is a $1 billion company, publicly traded company. We've been talking about inclusion, since a lot of the events from last year. So I wonder what my company is going to do next year for this. But that's big. Nike stores, wow. Hey, Kalaya. So they pull more young people into both. Like Pastor said, educate. Yeah, now you know something, Kalaya. Like you said, pull more young people into both. Are you feeling like the young people don't care about holidays? Are you feeling like the young people been excluded from holidays? How you feeling about that all together? Do y'all turn up for the holiday? What y'all doing? What y'all doing on July 4th? What y'all doing on Juneteenth? This is interesting. Interesting to know. Kalaya, give me another comment about that. What the young folks do? Y'all care about the holidays? Should we be doing something? Yes, Pastor Derek, definitely a major business move. Major business move. That's going to get more African American athletes to sign with them. That's going to get more African Americans to continue to buy their products because we're a big customer for them. We know the African American dollar is one of the most powerful dollars in the economy because we spend a lot of money. So if they want to make money, it's in their best interest, to want to do something that makes us think that they have, they're thinking about us. So definitely a major business move. You said everybody else will follow. Yeah, they watch Nike do it. They watch Nike do it. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But at the same time, you still got a lot of business. They still got a lot of good old boys in the CEO seats. They get less about the Juneteenth. They might fire you. You try to call off on Juneteenth. I remember one year at my job, but they almost had a walkout. And they said we had to work on Martin Luther King Day. You know how we get. Us as a little more dark complected. We'll do all kind of things. To make a fuss. We're ready. All the back here at my job ready to walk out. Then we ain't working Martin Luther King. You know how we do. Okay. Kalaya said I feel like some of them celebrate it, but they don't understand it. I agree. Because like when I get done here, we're probably going to go out to one of the festivals. Probably we ought to go to Haines City. Like we think we're close to Haines City. We might go to Winter Haven. Either Winter Haven or Haines City. Here we come. We're coming. But I believe I agree with you, Kalaya. A lot of young folks is out there because they're trying to hang out, but they don't understand what's going on today. And we definitely have to take that time, take those moments to share that. Now we're in the state of Florida. I live in the state of Florida. Our governor has passed something in the Board of Education has backed them where they want to suppress some of the things that we share about African American history. So it's going to be our job as community leaders, as leaders in the church arena. It's going to be our job definitely to educate, those that we know, those that we impact about these different things that goes on because they're taking it out of our school system. And just even with that, I'm in a position where I have to hire and fire people, and a lot of our young people don't even know how to interview for a job. They don't know how to dress for an interview because it's taken out of the school system. The school system is basically have our kids set up to just learn this stuff so you can pass the test. It's not setting them up for life. So we definitely got to educate them. It's not just a celebration. We're just not out here eating. This is why we're eating. This is why this is a day. You know, we know what we know what Memorial Day is. You know, we know what 4th of July is. We know what all those different holidays is, but it's definitely something we need to educate our young people on. And the school system is not doing it. So all you community leaders, all you pastors that's watching, including myself, we definitely want to educate those on that. Thank you, Kalia, for that. All right. Well, it was awesome. I enjoyed the broadcast on tonight. Juneteenth versus July 4th. That was also for the Virtual Man Cave. Again, let me recap my picks because this is Kingdom Sports. The Virtual Man Cave, this is a small segment, but let me recap my picks for the playoffs. I'm rooting for the Bucks tonight, but I'm picking the Nets to win, and I'm picking the Nets to win the whole thing. Also, 76ers, I believe they will beat the Hawks tomorrow. Again, I believe the Nets will make short work of them due to those limitations of Ben Simmons. So I expect the Nets to take the Sixers out in 4 to 5 games. Clippers Suns, no Kawhi Leonard. No hope for the Clippers. Suns beat the Clippers, and the Nets will beat the Suns in the finals. So we'll come back and review those predictions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Kingdom Sports broadcasting live on Kingdom Speaks Network. We're going to be back, maybe not next week, but I'm probably going to take 2 weeks to see how these conference finals shake out in the NBA. We'll come back, dive into that, and we'll definitely have another hot topic for the Virtual Man Cave. Thank you guys so much. This is your host, C. Michael Stanley, Kingdom Sports on Kingdom Speaks Network, KSN. We're doing big things. Look for more content to come. Shout out to Lakia Hall. She'll be doing a Kingdom Sound broadcast real soon. And a special shout out to my lovely wife, CEO and founder of Kingdom Speaks Network, Tawanta Stanley. She's doing some big things in the whole world. All right. Love you guys. See you next time.